You're listening to From a Certain Point Askew, the only Star Wars podcast to secure sponsorship from a galaxy far, far away. Stay tuned. I'm Jason the Angry Ginger Jedi Guy. I'm broadcasting live from inside Wookiee Studios. I'm not alone. Please allow me to introduce the one and only, the Darth of the Mathias, Darth Mathias. Hello.
Hi. I was hoping maybe you'd be in a better mood this week since we're not reviewing Resistance.
I'm in a much better mood for two reasons. One, I've actually slept now, and two, we're not reviewing Resistance.
We had to give ourselves a little break there.
I do enjoy kind of talking shit about it on Twitter, though.
Yeah. Well, and also a side note, speaking of animation, I'm going on record as saying I'm starting my Rebels rewatch. Somebody, who is it? Was it Yubcast or somebody?
I think it was Yub. Yeah, I saw
the
it
other
yesterday.
day said there's 76 episodes and there's less days than that till Ahsoka starts. So you better get started. So I was gonna try to do maybe 2 episodes a day as best I can when I'm available, and try to plow through that series again, because everything we're seeing from that series seems to indicate that this is almost a direct sequel to that.
Yes,
so,
right.
Got to be ready.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll plunge back into it as well.
Yeah, well, you got to mix in those Resistance episodes, season 2, though. Don't forget those.
What if we do you watch it and I don't?
I just try to describe it to you, and then I'll make up some crazy bullshit things, and you'll be like, "Whoa, who?"
I'll never know whether that was true or not.
You know they got Alec Guinness's voice. What? Deep fake.
Yep.
If you'd like to find our show from a certain point askew.com, find us on Twitter at FACPA Pod, and you can email us, facpapod@gmail.com. What's in the show?
On the show today, question of the week, the Phantom Menace recasting. We got some news, new Jedi Order film and production, spring 2024, and we're going to talk the Making of Mando Season 3 teaser, FACPA Breakdown Podracing with the Ithorian Historian, and I am pretty sure it's a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I might have been maybe a tad bit of a wet blanket. But
no.
I was tired. Maul Bag. I am tired. That never happened yet. Maul Bag, one email. Let's get into it. Question of the week.
I think people have come to understand that we record the meaty part of the segment before the rest of it, but that's okay. So the question of the week I put out there, and I had to preface it with just for fun, because I didn't want anybody to get mad at me. If you could swap out any of the actors in the Phantom Menace, kind of going along with our theme today, if you could swap out any of those actors for others, who would it be and why, and how would it change the vibe of the film? Got a couple answers. Brian Hour. When you're not doing a giveaway, you don't get as many answers. That's okay.
I know. I've noticed.
That's okay. Brian Hour says, honestly, not sure if I would recast any of the main cast. Maybe the bit players having more screen time, like us having the fight between Greedo and Anakin. Oh, we get into that. Or more Aura Singh, who is advertised to be the next Boba Fett. Jake was fine, and Moore suffered from the writing.
There's a part when we were watching the pod race over again before we discussed it, and when Qui-Gon lifts Anakin up to put him in his pod, he goes, "Ooh!"
Yeah.
Like he's supposed to. It was like the worst.
If I did that, if I was Qui-Gon and did that, and he went, "Whoa!" I'd be like, "You're going to fucking ride this thing. Like, are you sure you're up for this?" Yeah. It was like putting a child on one of those little quarter operated horses at a store. This should not be that exciting.
I've never been picked up by another person before.
You're literally about to go supersonic speeds in this thing.
Right.
Are you sure you're up for this?
And he's like, "Whoa!" But it was the line delivery that made me laugh, because it was so
out of place.
He couldn't even nail the excitement of being lifted up and putting on a horse or something. It's like, whoa! It was terrible.
It was at that point where Qui-Gon was like, "Well, if he eats it, oh well. Then at least you don't have to worry about him later."
We'll find another chosen one.
So Mike Laybourne has a much more detailed answer here. You ready for this? This
I like this. Yeah.
He says, "This is just for fun, as I thought everyone did great anyway." Anakin, Tom Cruise. Because he'd make them do real pod racing. I can only imagine the outtakes.
But they gotta do the de-aging process, so it's like a very young looking Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that's right. Qui-Gon, James Gandolfini. Ooh. Jar Jar Rob Lowe.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. Is it just because he's always so like Mr. Upbeat guy in a lot of his roles, especially like the Parks and Rec kind of role, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, boop, boop, boop.
Literally,
yeah. Yoda, one of the Wayans brothers. You choose. Where, like, what is going on in his mind?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Mike Laybourne dropped himself on his own head, and this is just what's coming out.
Boss Nass, nice pull. Voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Now, this is a funny answer. He says Shmi, played by Mon Mothma, just for you, Jay. I love how he says by Mon Mothma as if that's a real person.
Yeah.
So not the actress.
He had like the mental break that I did where like he didn't know the real name, so he just did the character name. I can only spit one out at a time, so I'm gonna forgive him for this. And also,
oh my God.
I'm more into Mon Mothma, I think, than the actress herself.
Well, and then if that was the case, you'd be so fucking pissed if Qui-Gon choosing Anakin over Shmi to take in the bet.
Right?
You'd be like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Think with your dick, would you? Padme, Florence Pugh. She's amazing in everything.
This is actually a good pick. This was interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how that would fit. I guess that would make sense. I feel like Florence Pugh's a little more fierce than Padme, but
I think like if they were actually going to do this movie today, I think that would be the choice. That would be the perfect person they would go for.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Watto, Danny DeVito, but not CGI. That is a great pick.
I fucking laughed at this. Like, I want to see the behind the scenes, like the wire work where they just got Danny DeVito fucking floating up on some wires, floating around. We'll put the wings in later. You know, he's got a cigar in his mouth in between takes.
I just think of him emerging from the couch when he lived inside the couch there for a while in Always Sunny. I don't know if you ever saw that episode. He's literally like in this couch. Oh God, he's like comes out looks like a crazy creature. Everyone else, Michael Keaton. Sure.
Fair enough.
Michael Keaton has a lot of depth.
I mean, he did that movie where he played his own clone, so I think he could pull it off.
Yeah, he could absolutely pull it off. Great answers, Mike. Thank you.
I think let's play this game for like the next episode between you and I. Let's recast the trilogy, the prequel trilogy.
The whole trilogy. Okay. Like the top 15 people or so. Or you want the whole cast?
Like today, yeah. Go down the cast, like in the credits at the end, and I want you to fucking pick a new person for everyone. No, like the main characters, but do it as like we were casting today, like they were, whether they were remaking it or they're making it for the first time. But then this is our choice.
I like it. Okay, as if they're casting today. That's something to note because then you got to be like, okay, who the hell's going to play a 10-year-old, or then the later 20-year-old or whatever.
Right.
Let's do that. We'll exercise.
Mm-hmm.
We can tack that onto our stuff. So new Jedi Order film. So it's rumored that the new Jedi Order film with Rey and the one directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is going to be going into production April 2024. Seems a bit optimistic considering we have got a script that's being rewritten by Stephen Knight, but he can't rewrite it right now because there's a writer's strike. Yeah,
but do you think, like, because our story, our version of this is they locked him in a hotel room surrounded by stormtroopers and not allowed to leave, right? True. Did anyone let him know there's a writer's strike right now?
I don't think Kathleen Kennedy did, no.
Yeah, so he's still in that fucking room just smoking cigarettes and hammering away on a typewriter.
I've almost got it. He had 6 weeks. He was supposed to be done in mid-May. He should have been done 2 weeks into the strike.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what we discussed, the 6-week timeline, right? Was because they were pretty sure. And like, he's rewriting, they're probably, they've done previs work, we think. And wasn't the rumor they were looking to start sometime this year originally before Lindelof walked away and they got a new screenwriter? So I think they're kind of, they're a version of ready.
Yes, I think there's certainly the things that are in play, in motion, and they have a general idea of what the story is going to be and all that kind of stuff. And he's obviously written presumably 2/3 of it, so they can prepare things. However, and I gotta say, if you're a writer and you have like a project you're in the middle of, props to you for having the discipline to just totally shut it down, because I don't know how you would do that. I would lose my fucking mind.
Yeah, I can't see it happening. I know I saw something the other day, like writers are allowed to write, like they can write on stuff. They can't work on projects that exist right now. So like you could work on something new. You could create like a new spec script. You can write, but you're right. Like if you're in the middle of something, especially like, there's times where you feel like you're getting nowhere. And then there's other times where you're writing, you're like, God damn, I got 15 pages. I know what I'm doing. This story is like, the characters are writing themselves. And then all of a sudden the strike happens. And like, I'd like to actually see how many people are honest about, oh yeah, pencils down, like the fucking meat test.
There's no way. I mean, I would think that if you're sitting there and you have ideas, you're jotting stuff down or you're doing whatever. So the second that strike ends, then you have to like kind of fake it. It's kind of like if you're like up really late and you're sending an email to somebody at work and you're like, well, I don't want to look like I'm sending an email at 2:30 in the morning. I'm going to wait for it and then I'm going to send it like at 7:30 in the morning. And they're going to be like, oh, he's up early firing emails off. Like, no, I wrote that last night. I think that's what's going to happen. I think people are going to go like, oh, by the way, had a great night right after that strike ended. All this energy in me, and I fucking cranked out the rest of the whole story.
I just had so much built up in me.
I hope that strike gets sorted soon, because I haven't heard any news of any like progress.
Last I heard, they weren't even gonna sit down with them until after because they were like, what was the Directors Guild, which they've signed. There's the Screen Actors Guild has one coming up. And then I thought there was another one. So it was going to be like July or August before they would even start talking again about sitting down, because they were going to deal with all the other ones. And they're trying to, the longer they think, they're putting the writers out, they think the writers are just going to come back and agree. But I've been seeing, like in the trades, they're doing the same thing they did years ago, where they start picking up full series from like Australia. They just CBS just purchased 3 seasons of whatever the hell it was. And I know they did a bunch of stuff from Canada years back, and they started, so they had stuff to air. So yeah, because like all of the seasons, are supposed to be starting September, October, and they've shot maybe a pilot, but pilot season's usually May. Yeah. And they're through the writer strike. So yeah, I don't see anything even coming until like new stuff from Hollywood if the writer's strike ends by August, September, until February.
There are some fundamental differences here that I don't see the writers backing off of until they feel like they've got something decent as far as the deal goes. So I don't think they're just going to be like, well, shit, we're not getting paid for stuff and everything. They're looking at like down the road quite a ways here and saying, if we don't fix these things now, we're going to get fucked.
Yep.
And I saw a lot of the SAG, a lot of the SAG people are going out there and supporting them and picketing with them and stuff like that. So it's just a mess.
Who is it? Drew? Did we talk about this? Drew Carey? There's a restaurant where they picket one of them. Anybody through the whole strike, anybody that's striking can go in there, and he's covering the dime. They go in there, eat, they can have their meal, whatever, and he's paying for everything through the strike.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Props to Drew Carey.
Yeah.
Have you seen him lately? His look is a little bit different.
It didn't look. I was like, I think I saw something on Twitter recently, and I was like, did someone Photoshop him? Like his hair was weird, and
his hair's different.
Yeah,
it looks like he is just coming out of the pandemic or something. Like he just emerged from his house.
Like no one told him it was over.
Right. All right. The other bit of news is there was as a preview for what we're covering next week, Making of Mando season 3. Mm-hmm. We got a little teaser for it, and it was very short. Well, a couple things to note. One is I believe it's meant to just be one episode, this making of deal. And it releases on June 28th. We'll watch it. I mean, we still have to iron out the plan there as far as your schedule and stuff, but
sure.
The likelihood is we will watch it that day and then record later that day or something like that, and then release our episode on the 29th, so that'd be Friday. The big part of the teaser was that Phil Tippett, who worked on the original trilogy and did, responsible for a lot of like the AT-AT movements, the Tauntauns, the Rancor, etc. Well, and also he's worked on a bunch of other shit like Jurassic Park and all this kind of stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of look into him because he apparently was heavily involved in creating the look and feel of the Mines of Mandalore. I thought that was kind of cool.
I did too. Like I didn't know that at all. I like how they show like the shot where like they built everything and then actually scanned it to put it into the volume and use it that way. So that's really cool. And I like seeing this. I told you, I like seeing this guy getting like his name recognition. I mean, he's been around for forever, but now it almost seems like people are knowing him by name.
Right. Yeah. And I think when you kind of look back on, maybe not so much once they get to like the actual pool, or the living waters, but more so as they're like making their way through the mines and the creature he encounters and all that stuff. It kind of almost has a little bit of Return of the Jedi feel to it, a little bit, you know?
Right. And like after they say it's, Phil Tippett and they're showing that stuff and they show the, when the, whatever that creature is, I don't know the name of it, but that whole thing like just screams of him after seeing, I was like, oh God, this all looks like something that he would have done. So it's brilliant. Like I'm looking, I was like, We've seen 2 seasons of these. We've seen there was the Book of Boba Fett one. We've seen these, and I love them. And I loved the ILM, the 6 episodes. But knowing he was involved, and a little bit something different that we haven't seen in the Mando stuff yet. They went over the music, like all the stuff we've kind of seen. It's cool to see, but I'm really interested in seeing this now.
Yeah, and I read something about it. It made it sound like they're almost covering it like in a chronological order of like this is where they were when they started writing it, and the ideas they were pulling together, and figuring out what the plot was going to be for the season. All this. So I think it's going to be more of a like kind of A to Z run through rather than like focusing on different segments and going, this is the directors, this is the writers, this is the whatever. So I don't know. It should be cool. I'm excited for it.
How much time do you think they're going to spend on, well, we know that we introduced, because everyone was complaining that, Baby Yoda's back with them already?
Right.
It's like, well, we covered that in Book of Boba Fett.
I hope they
feel
do.
like there's going to be a big thing. Well, we had to do it this way.
Or there's going to be a moment they show where they're all sitting around talking ideas, and the second the Jack Black Lizzo thing comes out, there's just people doing spit takes everywhere. What?
Yeah.
Are you sure about this? Did you run this by Kathy?
It's Favreau's like just drinking spotchka. He's like, I think we're going to jump the shark this season.
He's like, fuck it, man. We're living on house money. We hammered those first 2 seasons.
Yeah, we got goodwill. Let's see what we can get away with here.
Well, all right. So that'll be covered next week. So now it is time for our great discussion with the Ithorian Historian. We're going to get into pod racing. This is another one of what I like to call our FACPA Breakdown segments. And we get kind of deep into the race and all bits of it. Sometimes even maybe more so than Jay wanted.
Oh, I will tell you, I was surprised by the length that we went into this.
You're like, it's going to be like 10 minutes.
To the point I'd be like, we're not fucking naming every one of these people.
I know, that's what you said. Are we really going to name every single racer?
I'm like slowly dying.
Oh my God. But yes, and I knew that the Ithorian would bring like really funny specific notes about people, and
yes.
he delivered.
He did. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. And thank you, Ithorian, for coming on. Enjoy this conversation with the Ithorian Historian. With us today, a return guest, the Ithorian Historian, who was last on our show. I had to look, episode 60, when you did an extensive Ithorian breakdown, which was fantastic. We got into all the biology and traits and personalities of Ithorians, and that was a really great deep dive into that. But you're back. How you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to ask you guys, are you an angel? I hear they're the most beautiful creatures in the galaxy.
What a line by George.
To be fair, I feel like Natalie Portman probably had that line ran on her a few times, even before it was in that movie.
That's a good point.
Do you think
Probably
she required it? It was part of her signing on. She wanted to be called an angel.
Yeah. It was a rider.
Yeah.
Before we get started, I have to ask you, because I was looking at something the other day. What is up with your Twitter page? Because well, first of all, it has the line on it that I've always loved, which is willing to play an Ithorian for birthdays, which paints the most hilarious picture. Because I just think about like, you're like 6'4", like look like, Grizzly Adams walking into some kid's house with an Ithorian mask on. Hey, Timmy, happy birthday. They'd fucking run for the hills.
I think I'd have to show up in the mask. I could never take it off, or they'd be terrified. But really, though, yeah, I'd love to show up at a kid's birthday party. I'll grunt and groan. I'll do whatever it takes.
Do they make the feet?
Oh, I was looking at doing a full cosplay, and I was thinking about putting like shoe boxes on my feet and flattening the edges out, because I can't find them anywhere. They got creepy alien hands available, but no alien feet.
Well,
that's
and
a bummer.
For those who don't know, a longstanding tradition for you has been that you hand out candy on Halloween with the Ithorian mask on. Now that is something else.
Yeah, it's weird. We get less kids every year. I don't understand it.
They just race by your house. Yeah. Don't look back. Also, what is your Twitter banner image there? It looks like a partially chewed Slim Jim sticking out of a can of something.
Oh, that might be it. I don't know. I haven't looked in a while. I'm a pretty artistic
That's an
guy.
Ithorian penis.
Yeah, the classic Ithorian penis, which looks like a nod on Slim Jim from a small dog.
Just pokes its head out there every now and again.
Yep.
You are a Slim Jim guy, so I was curious. By the way, one other thing, and then we get started, is that I love how no matter what show is on, what's going on, I periodically get these DMs that's like, didn't have time to put an Ithorian?
Where is
he? Always.
Where is he?
Or very appreciative when one shows up, even for a split second. You're excited about that.
There was one in the trailer to the new video game, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there was one in the trailer.
Thank God.
Yep.
That was a nice little pickup.
So that's a day one purchase for me. They've got me hooked.
Yeah, exactly. They know what they need to do.
Yeah, they know their audience.
You've gotten a lot lately because like we had, they had in Mando, they had that one selling the little illuminated popsicles.
Popsicle ice cream, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then in Visions, they had like that train packed with Ithorians.
We're coming back. We're coming back strong.
Yeah. I don't see any of those motherfucking one-mouth Otagans anywhere. So.
No, thank God. And I was looking through the crowds at the Boonta Eve Classic, and there's not a single fucking one. I looked. I was looking. I combed through the crowds. We got our Ithorian, though.
Yes. So yeah, what we're talking about today is pod racing. And so you had said you wanted to kind of cover it. We like to do these like FACPA breakdowns now. And so we thought, let's get, deep into this pod racing scene from the Phantom Menace. So how do you want to go through this? Do you want me to like kind of set it up and then we can kind of walk through it, or how do you want to approach that?
Yeah, do we want to go into the lead up? I don't care however you want to do it. I got all sorts of stupid notes all over the place.
All right, well you jump in. I will just kind of do the initial setup because of course a lot of people know this, but obviously this, it's Qui-Gon's on the planet with Obi-Wan and crew. They need parts for their ship. The I forget his name now. Watto won't accept any credits, so he's got to get some money for it. So he figures the best way to do it is by doing this pod racing and having this bet. And it's interesting too because he mentions Qui-Gon says something to Anakin about pod racing. I saw it on Malastare. Are you familiar with that planet?
I'm familiar with the racetrack. I've been playing a lot of Star Wars Racer from the N64. They just released it on Xbox, so I'm deep. I'm stuck on the final Boonta Eve Classic. I can't unlock Sebulba. It drives me nuts.
Oh man! So what does that involve? Like, are all the racers that we're going to talk about here in a second? Are they all? Yeah,
all the racers and the ones that got cut from the game are all in there.
Oh wow!
I'm currently who's my main right now? Gasgano is my guy. That little daddy long legs looking freak. But I just can't get through, and we'll get to it. The Devil's Doorknob is my fucking enemy. I can't get through the Devil's Doorknob.
Is that the end of Beggar's Canyon?
Such a ridiculous name.
No, that's what you think. That's the end of the corkscrew where you have to turn sideways to get out onto those flats. Yeah, that's right. Every goddamn, and I have to do a perfect run to unlock Sebulba, but I just can't fucking do it 3 times in a row.
So
it's brutal.
Frustrating.
Oh.
Well, Malastare is where Sebulba's from. It's the home planet of the Dug species, which we saw in the Clone Wars when they went after the Zillo Beast, the original Zillo Beast.
Oh, that's right.
That's Malastare.
Okay.
So it kind of goes back to that, which I thought was funny. And then, so Anakin kind of convinces them, hey, like, get me in the Boonta Eve Classic. We'll win the money, and everything will be great from there. And this just turns into like an episode or a remake of Ben-Hur, essentially. Quick sidebar on the Boonta Eve Classic, because I'm sure you got notes. Well, first of all, how about this arena that we see? This arena is supposed to be holding like 100,000 people.
Yeah, it's the size of the Rose Bowl.
Exactly. It's huge. Yeah. Outside of Mos Espa, I would imagine that like you don't even want to have to go to the bathroom there. I was thinking about that when I was watching all the crowd
Just
scenes.
go in your seat, man. You just go.
Just imagine how many different shaped toilets you'd need to.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like when you walk in there, if you just have to piss, maybe that's one thing. But like if you got to get on that vac tube, like after some like Aqualish takes a dump, you're not gonna want to do that.
Yeah, no. You guys have been to a pro stadium where they have the trough? I imagine it's just a giant trough full of ice that everyone's doing whatever they need to do in there.
They're not cleaning that thing very often.
No, and then like a hammered Aqualish comes out and thinks it's clean water and washes his hands in the trough.
I would have 2 things on me if I went to one of those: a catheter and hand sanitizer. That's it.
You're a smart man.
Well, then you can just throw urine bombs at the racers while they go by. So add a little spice.
I think that's probably within the rules.
Oh, I don't think there's any rules. So
Yeah,
You know,
there are.
I noticed I was watching it again today. I haven't seen it in a while, and one of my favorite things that kind of like how we always joke about Maz and her Skype calling, but there's no camera following her.
Right.
The pictures of like when they're away from the 100,000 seat, they're on the track somewhere. There's video footage of what's happening, but there's no drones or anything following them. There's no cameras anywhere. They got snipers shooting them for, I guess that's fair game, but
yeah, but where are they? Where are the cameras coming from? Maybe
They
these
show like a
long-angle
brief
lenses.
one, right? Like it's like a little red drone.
Did they?
Basically, yeah.
okay.
Just it might have been in the deleted scene and not the Disney Plus cut.
Well, and so by the way, it's interesting too because this arena is on the outskirts of Mos Espa, and the races run out in the desert through Beggar's Canyon, all that stuff. In Mando season 3, are we led to believe that the pod racing has extended beyond that because he's coming into Mos Eisley to see Pelimoto at the beginning of Mando season 3, and they're doing the fucking races then.
Well, I think those were just pod racers like driving around, right?
I thought the Empire. I thought it was outlawed at some
Well,
point.
I think they try to outlaw it, but the Outer Rims got
Right,
away with
they
it.
still do it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, and by the way, something I forgot is that we learned that in the build-up to it, in the conversation with Anakin and everything, that Gardula the Hutt owned Anakin and Shmi originally and lost them to Watto in a bet on their pod races. And it's Gardula who's standing next to Jabba when he comes out. That's Gardula the
Oh,
Hutt.
that's Gardula?
Yes.
Yeah, that's supposed to be Gardula.
She wants him back. She knows what
Well,
she's got.
I can't quit you.
Well, and we see Gardula in Clone Wars when Zero the Hutt is like goes back and talks to the Hutts.
The impressions are out.
That's right.
Oh, Jesus. I do declare.
I do declare.
Anyway, yeah, so there's this deal struck between Qui-Gon and Watto. This is a bad deal Watto does here. Like, I mean, so the original deal is Watto's like, I'll pay the entry fee and I'll give you Anakin as a pilot. And Qui-Gon's like, and I've got the pod, which is actually, of course, Anakin's. Mm-hmm. And then if they lose, Watto gets Qui-Gon's ship, that's fine because it's, pretty slick ship. And if they win, Watto gets all the money, just doesn't, beside the parts to repair the ship. But then he's like, he can't stop gambling, Watto. So he's like, Qui-Gon makes a deal with him to say, okay, if we win, then we get Anakin, and if we lose, you get my pod racer. He hasn't even seen the pod racer, and he's willing to offer up Anakin against it?
Yeah. Well, what's he say? He says, the Force doesn't work on me, only money. And that's when Qui-Gon realizes, well, this guy's just a gambling addict. I'm going to take a huge advantage of him as much as I can. I think he probably could have gotten them both if he really worked it.
That is a good question. That the taking Anakin and not Shmi is kind of in the same vein as, hey Rose, why don't you move over so Leo DiCaprio can get on the goddamn raft? It's a pretty
big door. I think we probably both fit up on there.
Right.
I can see like Watto, just on break time in the back room on his cell phone playing on the Canto Bite app, casino app. You just can't stop gambling.
DraftKings going hard.
I think we do. We have a new commercial coming up. We're sponsored by them.
Oh, we do. I forgot about that. So, and then of course Anakin reveals in the build up to the race he's actually never not only won a race but never finished a race, and Padme's like,
right,
ooh,
yeah,
yeesh.
They end up in love. Isn't that wild?
Well, I mean, there's a whole.
We probably shouldn't get into that.
There's a secondary breakdown we could do where we talk about the inappropriate age difference between those two at the time of that. So the race arrives, and we're introduced to, I'm sorry, one of the dumbest aspects of this whole thing, the announcers. I don't like them.
How dare you?
It's
what?
Yes, because it's the alien, the two-headed alien, and the one who's speaking Huttese is named Bede, and the other one is Fode, I think is how you say it, and that's voiced by Greg Proops, who we hear again in what did we just hear him in? Oh, Resistance. He's the
Greg's
announcer
in Resistance?
Yeah.
I can see the excitement coming out from over there.
Oh, Jay is not happy about that.
Resistance.
I'm working on a nice steamy shit right now.
I listened today to the latest episode, and it sounds great. I love it. It's a great episode. Fantastic stuff. Lots of enthusiasm.
I do like the idea of having the commentator and the color commentator and two heads,
the same
one
body.
Yeah. No, I like that concept, but it's I don't know. It's just a bit cringeworthy. Some of the stuff that he says, some of the lines throughout. But I'm just gonna move on from that. I might make a reference to it later.
That's fine. just so you know, I have a double auto from that guy from my Star Wars collector's pack. This is my
You do?
prize. Oh yeah, I love Greg
boy.
Proops and whatever his name was, British comedian guy.
Yeah, right. I can't remember. Yeah.
I'm a big Who's Line fan.
Well, yeah, it was good back in the day. I enjoyed it back in the day. So we get this roster of racers. Did you watch the deleted scene as well, Jay, or no?
I've seen it before, but it's been a long time.
There are 19 racers, I believe, in this race. That is a lot.
It was 18.
Oh, it was 18?
I think so. Yeah, I was reading some stuff today to catch up, and yeah.
Somebody's got printouts that they're
these
posting
guys.
up.
Not to correct you.
What's the number? What's the number, Ithorian? Is it 18 or 19?
I think it's 18 and 33%. 6 of them finish.
You win this round, Jay. There's a few to call out, or we can call them all out, but I mean, some of them are just ridiculous. The ones that they go by. Although, like, there's a guy named Bulls Roar who's won a couple times. I saw the stats that you have on your sheets that you printed out there, Thorian. And
yeah,
these dudes have won some races. It's not like
they're good
Sebulba
stuff.
wins every race.
Bulls Roar. Ooh. They're all. The thing is, it's all gulp shitto names. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's like the peak gulp. Like, let's see, we got Aldar Beto, the Glimfid from Plo 2. Like, come on.
Wow.
Come on.
I liked Dud Bolt. That's a great one.
Dud Bolt, yep. Well, Dud Bolt's the one the Ithorian's rooting for. He freaks out when they announce Dud Bolt. He lost.
Do you think they get like a group of people around like a boardroom table at Lucasfilm, and they're sort of like the Midnight Ultra? They just like lace them all with acid and just start having fucking named characters for 24 hours.
I think you're right.
I was thinking mushrooms and a Scrabble board.
Lucas is sitting behind a 2A mirror. I like that one.
That one's good. We're in on Clegg Holdfast. Sign that one up.
Well, because Clegg is the name of what's his face? The guy who frees Shmi, right? Is his name Clegg?
Oh, you think it's a callback?
Isn't it Clegg Lars? I think
maybe
it's Clegg Lars.
it's close to Clegg. If it's not, I don't like that guy.
So we might have recycled
the
him.
Nosorian from New Plimto.
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody knows.
Okay, I
New
have a question.
Plimto.
Question, yes.
Are we seriously going to name every one of them?
We're not going to name every one of them.
I got them all here though. If you want to hear them all.
They'll come up during the race.
Listeners are like, who are these fucking people?
Clegg Holdfast is like the lizard with the horns coming up top.
Yeah,
Okay.
some of them look amazing. Like they're just like Mars Guo is just basically a duck.
Yes, that's exactly what I've written down. The duck, little duck guy. And Jar Jar steals his intro. They announce him, and Jar
That's
Jar
right.
pretends
He's
it's
like,
him.
"Hey."
He's like, oh! And he gets pissed. He starts quacking at him like Donald.
Well, then you get Ratts Tyerell, who's an important character in this race because he brought his whole family to watch.
We don't want to bring that up, do we?
Well, it's
Already?
gonna come up in a minute. But his whole family shows up, and his wife just gave birth, and she's got all the kids.
His wife,
in tow,
yeah, she's fresh out of the hospital.
Is he the one that like the family witnessed his epic failure by not even getting the go?
Oh no
Parked the whole time.
No, that's
He
Ben
goes.
Quadraneros.
Ben
I
Quadraneros, who
should've
ends up
known.
being Sebulba's greatest rival in the pod racing circuit.
Does he really?
It's like Elway, Montana shit. Yeah, eventually. Anakin has a poster of the two of them in his room in the Clone Wars.
They did also have a guy called Elon Musk. Just kidding. His name's Elon Mack.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they have Elon Mack and Howie Mandel, right? Oh, no, Odie Mandrell, sorry.
There you go. And then, of course, Sebulba, the heavy favorite, who just, casually walks by and just rips a piece off of Annie's racer.
Yeah.
Fucking dirty shit. Dirty pool.
Do you know he was? I was watching some like behind the scenes stuff. He's modeled after a camel. His face. He's
Oh,
like
really?
a
Oh, that makes
camel
sense. I can see
flamingo weird hybrid looking thing. From what I can tell.
I got to say, when they all fire up and all those pod racers start up, I got to give credit to Lucas because the sounds that they created for
God.
these
Design is
are amazing.
The lack of music, they're so confident. It's awesome. There's
Yeah.
not like
Right.
a pod racing theme. It's great.
Yeah, and the design in general, just the two huge engines with the little cockpit thing. It was a cool design. All that stuff is really, really sweet. They also show, by the way, they show a nervous Watto, even though he felt good about the bet, but they show a nervous Watto sitting there. He's sitting next to the guy from Willow.
Warwick Davis, yeah.
Yeah, Wicket.
Yeah, Wicket. He's fucking gambling with Wicket.
Yeah.
Oh, but he gets so stoked when they mention of Sebulba. He screams, Sebulba! I'm really trying not to do any of the impressions of Jar Jar or Watto, because I think at this point,
There may be
that might be
inappropriate.
problematic.
Yeah, could be.
I think if you're voicing a character, you're fine.
Okay.
Look, I mean, it's worked out for Hank Azaria. You're good.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Apu's around, right?
That's right. So the race starts, as you mentioned. Quadaneros does not go, nor does Annie. Right when they start the race, and so it's not looking good for them. And as that's happening, we're not 10 seconds into the race, and Sebulba's already fucking with people because he knocks that Mahana guy out, just like smashing up against him. He's just out of the. It looks like he plunges to his fiery death, but I think I read something that said only like 2 people die or something in the whole race.
The only confirmed death is, well, sorry
Tyerell.
to his family. Yeah.
That's Tyerell.
But yeah, that guy is totally fine from a crash. Yeah, I mean here. Oh, I have a note here on what's his name? Mao Honig.
Yeah.
So after this race, he hires Jango Fett to kill 2 of Sebulba's family members as revenge.
Yes.
Whoa!
Now, this is what I want to see.
Oh my god!
So hope it's worth it, Sebulba. You son of a bitch.
He's not the one, because there's a guy who looks just like him who ends up at Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. I'm assuming that's
think
not the
that's
same guy, because that's a long time from now.
Oh, maybe.
But
Yeah, I don't
that'd
know.
be a fun
but,
tie
yeah,
back.
but yeah, in my brief research, I found out he was responsible for the death of 2 of Sebulba's family members.
Wow.
So that's
Does
pretty
Sebulba
cool.
strike you as like it strikes you as like one of those guys that's really compensating with like a big truck with fucking big lift on it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, rolling
You know, like
coal
he's-
or whatever they do.
Yeah, I got
there.
the biggest engines. Like, yeah.
The guy with the American flag blacking out his back mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Sebulba's, like half a pinky. He's not big.
Yeah. Which is still average for his race.
Yeah, it's probably big for his race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know who I was rooting for when he cornered Jar Jar there in the marketplace after
Yeah,
Jar
good
Jar
point.
spilled his soup. That's a real like 50-50.
By the way, quick side note. In one of the deleted scenes, did you see that fucking, what's the Rhodian's name that I'm forgetting right now?
Greedo?
Greedo
Yeah.
gets in like a fight with Anakin.
Yeah. Oh, hold
As a
on.
kid.
So when they go out and they see Anakin's pod for the first time, and like 95% of those kids are like, "You'll never succeed. You suck, Annie."
Right.
Do you think that's what he's thinking when he's killing younglings during Order
Oh.
66? He's just like, "Oh, it's fucking Greedo right there."
Yes.
All the stuff that comes out of Anakin later is repressed,
None
memories
of
from
his
his
buddies have
first
his
10
back.
years.
They're like,
No.
"You're gonna be like bug goop or whatever, Annie. You're fucked."
Right. Yeah.
And he's
And
got
then
his
they-
one little buddy there. I forget his name now, but he comes with him.
Well, there's 2 of them. There's the little Rhodian who's not Greedo, and then there's the other guy who's who's a human, and they're in his pit.
Yeah.
So anyway, we head into Beggar's Canyon. Sadly, we don't get to see Toro Calican's corpse because it's not there yet. But
You
eventually,
think he was
Not
there as
yet.
a baby in the crowd,
No,
taking it in?
I don't think so. I don't think he was that old by the time we get there. I think
That's
he's born
fair.
later. But either way, he's dead in my eyes. We do see Aura Singh, which is a nice
Yes, we do.
shout going through Beggar's Canyon.
And Aura Singh, I think, is there to kill the other guy who disappears in the second lap.
Oh, really?
I think
Right, yeah, he's-
that's the rumor, is that Jabba had that guy killed. Neva Key, the little bat guy.
Oh,
The
okay. Okay.
Zamster from Zagaba.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ. But yeah, he disappears, and I think the explanation for that is that she was there to lead him off course and kill him on his shortcut.
Oh crap. Well, she'll later get hers when she
Yep.
faces Bennett, who we meet in Solo. Woody Harrelson kills her.
Oh, Woody.
So then they make their way through the caves, and Ratts Tyerell just gives up. Like I'm thinking, is he like, I can't handle another mouth to feed. Fuck it. Just right into a stalactite.
So yeah, what do you think was he distracted? Because when he takes off in the deleted scenes, he gives his wife like a deep like, we're fucking after this race look. Like, God damn, let's go. You're out of the hospital. Like, and her eyes get like the size of fucking $50, and she does no eyelids left. And he's going, yeah. And so he dies in what they call the Laguna Caves. And even if he survived the crash, they don't send rescue crews into the Laguna Caves because there's a crate dragon that lives in there.
Oh man.
Yes.
And so even if he somehow survived, like he's like bleeding out, crawling to the edge, he probably got killed by a crate dragon. Best case scenario.
No, he full on explodes.
Yeah,
like there's no chance
probably,
of survival.
But that's what I thought about the first guy too.
That's true, but this one was a straight up explosion into like hard rock. But what I was going to ask is, in your video game, does the crate dragon ever come into play then?
No, I never see it.
Okay.
But that's just
some lore.
So that game's just me getting mad that Sebulba tells me, or Watto tells me every time I go into his shop, Sebulba's gonna win, I think. And I was like, yeah, okay, thanks, pal. Thanks, bud. Let's go out back and see your junkyard.
Yeah, you want to shoot some dice? Let's go.
Yeah. Does Qui-Gon cheat?
On the dice, yes.
You think he cheats, or do you think he just
100%.
makes sure?
I think he. Well, I mean, isn't it kind of one and the same?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
So then the next scene we see is poor Anakin getting shot at by the Tusken Raiders. Now, so they're just doing like a little target practice, but little do they know they really needed to put him down there because it's going to come back to haunt him later.
Holy shit, I guess so.
Do you think that was in his mind too? I remember those fuckers in the ridge.
That son of a bitch. Well, did you see him? So I was doing it. Anakin averaged, I think, 500 in like 80 miles an hour.
Jesus.
For the whole race. And the guy, he's the guy, and I got his name written down here. I don't know if you guys are on the document, but I believe it's pronounced. And he's not even looking, and he does like a 180 no-scope pop shot and just nails him. Oh my God. If that were me in Call of Duty, I would report that guy for hacking. There's no way he hits that shot. There's no way he hits that shot. But he does.
He does. He hits it. That doesn't put him down, though. You got to put him down when you get your chance. We do go back and see Quadraneros' engines finally fire off and just blow up everywhere, so he's out of the race.
Everywhere.
I think that was his first professional race ever, Ben Quadraneros.
But then, like you said, he goes on to much acclaim later. Well, that's good to hear.
I think he ordered his ship from Acme.
Totally.
It was
That wood
the
box.
Roadrunner painted the wall in front of him.
Oh, there should have been one of those. In Resistance, there would have been.
yeah.
So we get through the first lap. Sebulba's leading. Anakin's making up ground because he's got that fast. I mean, his ship is the fastest, essentially, his pod racer. So then Anakin's got to do a little jockeying, with Gascano, who you mentioned earlier, who by the way, apparently comes in second in the end.
Yeah, he finishes it out.
Proper. Good job.
I think the way to do this is just to go 25 miles an hour, and you're going to get a top 5.
Let
You just
everybody
have
else
to
die.
go. Yeah, they're all going to die if you
Hang
just
back.
go slow.
Always second. Doesn't matter. Still
Doesn't
finished.
matter. Still getting the purse, baby.
And then, Sebulba just continues to just lob parts at people, just, throwing bombs out the back to wipe people out. He's such a dick. He knocks out Mars Guo, the chicken, or whatever, the duck. And then Anakin loses connection to one of his engines, but uses his magnetic device. That was a slick move, because he's going 500 or whatever miles an hour at that point,
Right.
And, manages to hook that sucker back up. Well played.
Now, what do you think the Star Wars community would have done if it was Rey doing that?
Oh, they would have been like, come on!
No.
How would she ever figure that out?
She's not smart enough to grab that.
Yeah.
When I was going to ask you, when you guys, how old were you when this came out?
Ooh, so this was 99?
Yeah.
I've been 21.
I was 20. I was 24.
So I was 9.
Yes.
So I loved this shit. What did you guys think of it when you first saw it? But were you already over? You already think the movie sucked, or were you still maybe it's still going to be good at this point?
No, I walked out of that theater thinking it was the greatest movie in the world.
Oh, okay.
It took me like a revisit and maybe coming down off the oh my god, a brand new Star Wars high to realize not all that movie was great.
Well, so yeah, I mean, and in retrospect, of course, that happens a lot. That happened with me in like Rise of Skywalker. I walked out of Rise of Skywalker and I was like, that was fucking great. And then I went back and watched it again. I was like, well, it had some moments. But Phantom Menace for me, and everybody disagrees with me on this, of course, because everybody says Revenge of the Sith is the best of the prequels. I actually like Phantom Menace the most because I like the origin story. I like the Darth Maul shit. Darth Maul's great. The pod racing stuff's good.
Yep.
All that stuff's good. So yes, you get a lot of Jar Jar, which is tough. But I like the setup, and I like Qui-Gon. I mean, you get a lot of cool shit in this movie.
I was watching this, and I watched it like 4 or 5 times straight, and I think this is like my second favorite set piece, apart from what you guys already broke down in the Jabba Palace heist. I love this sequence. I love it.
It's long. Like I think I forgot how long the sequence goes on.
I think it's 13 minutes.
Is it? Okay. It felt like it's more than that, but it's quite a race. And I guess because I watched the deleted scenes too, and they show some extra stuff in there. But anyway, so yeah, Anakin gets reconnected. He starts flying past dudes. He comes flying out of Beggar's Canyon. And again, another chance for the Raiders to end their future misery. Nope.
Nope. They couldn't do it twice.
Nope. They do take out Team Toe Pagalis, though, and then we get a lovely line from your favorite announcer. Oh, that's gotta hurt.
I don't care what galaxy you're from.
So silly.
Yes.
By the way, in the deleted scenes on lap 2, they show that Clegg guy. Clegg Holdfast gets his engine torched by Sebulba. That knocks him out.
Oh, yeah, Sebulba's got like flamethrowers that come out of the side of his pod.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of shit.
Isn't he like got a bucket of nails or something he's chucking back and like throwing through engine parts?
Shit. He's got everything. He's got all the tricks. I was going to
say, yeah. He's got a kitchen sink full of shit to throw at him.
Lucas must have been writing this at like 3 a.m. on like a Cartoon Network binge. And it was just nothing but fucking Roadrunner and Coyote. And he just starts throwing this shit in there.
Yeah, and I can't believe there's not an animated pod racing like Hanna-Barbera style cartoon at this point.
Right.
It seemed like it would be perfect.
Like Laugh Olympics, but it's the pod race.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe get Goggles Paisano in there from the Flintstones just to throw another wrinkle in there.
Dick Dastardly.
A couple other things, by the way, in the deleted scenes, they show the Tuskens taking pot shots at Jawas who are trying to scoop up engine parts. You see that?
Yeah.
Dude. Everybody just shits on the Jawas.
I imagine the Jawas aren't afraid to go retrieve Ratts Tyrell's corpse and pod racer in the Crate Dragon caves. I bet they have that.
They're happy to go in there.
I love the shot where the pods go by the Jawas and they do the quick head turn. Oh, it's so good. Oh!
So as the lap ends, Anakin is now right on Sebulba's ass. So we got a two-player race here. And then they go into Beggar's Canyon, and Sebulba and Anakin are banging each other. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Trading paint. He means trading paint, folks, not banging.
And then Anakin gets forced out of the service ramp. Luckily, doesn't murder those people that are standing there. I mean,
pretty close.
The fact that there's not more like civilian deaths in this race is a miracle because they're all just right in harm's way. Although... Was it Bad Batch where the guy gets capped? Remember that when they're doing those races and the loose shot goes off into the crowd and just smokes a fool? Remember that?
Yes.
I can't imagine Quadraneros' engines didn't end up in the crowd at least and crush a few people.
Oh, yeah, we need some real like NASCAR deaths. Like Cameron needs to pull away. George Lucas wasn't brave enough yet. But I was gonna say, like, when they come around that one curve where the service road is, you see all those like homes built into the mountain.
Yeah.
But later on, when it was a Bad Batch, or I don't remember if it was on Boba or Mando, but those aren't there anymore.
Yeah,
right.
You're right. So maybe those get wiped out over the course of time because that would have been whatever, 20-something, 30 years later, or whatever.
Well, when you live on a golf course and you can watch the game, that's okay. But you don't want to live on the fucking pod race course.
No, definitely not.
That's different. Yeah. It's not just taking a 4 right into your window. It's
they don't make pod racer proof windows like they do for golf balls.
Anakin, gets forced out of the ramp. Although it works out because then he just drops right back down in on top of.
What a
Sebulba.
Move! It's like he's playing Rocket League.
Yeah, that's a sweet move.
It's fucking awesome.
And then Sebulba tries to kind of suck him up in his engines. Now, is it me when he's doing that? Have you guys ever had an MRI? That is exactly what it sounds like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like bang, 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 bang. It does that over and over and over while you're inside that thing. So that's what it sounds like to me. Yeah.
I'll play it for Kyle. If she shits her pants, that's what it sounds like.
Oh God, that's right. I forgot it. Poor Kyle has issues with the MRI.
Yeah.
And then that piece that Sebulba broke earlier comes loose, starts a fire, and Anakin has to do all this finagling to get it, shut that fire down.
How great is it when he flips his little knobs and switches and pushes his button? I'm all about all that. I don't care what he's doing. It's just, I buy it all. I'm all in. I believe every little move. It has to be important. I believe it. I love that shit.
The kid's got the constitution of a fighter pilot.
Yeah. It's like Top Gun Maverick out there.
So he's able to put the fire out, catches back up with Sebulba. They bang away again, and then they get all locked up, and then he does another move where he just jams on the boosters and just blows them out and, frees up one of the engines of
rips
Sebulba.
off one of his power couplings or something.
Down goes Sebulba, and he wins.
Well, don't forget he drops a hard poodoo there.
He does drop a hard
It's pretty inappropriate. I can't believe they left that in 2022. He still says a hard poodoo there, but goddamn.
And then what do we see? What do your announcers do? They start doing the head roll. They start doing this. They're doing a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Come on, stop.
Also, just the whole time, anytime there's a crash, the crowd goes fucking insane. They're all about
of course,
death
that's why they're
and
there.
destruction.
Yeah.
That's true, though. When I watch NASCAR, I love a crash. So
That's everybody. Yeah. Everybody loves a fight. Everybody loves a crash. That's what happens. These people don't care. They're there for entertainment. Their jobs are probably pretty shit. So they're on this hot planet. They're miserable.
Yep.
The bathrooms. We've already talked about the bathrooms.
The ice melts instantly.
Yeah, exactly. You can't get a cold drink.
They have a guarantee that at least one pod racer will die, or they all get their money back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's I was gonna say there's signs everywhere that say be careful because you're in harm's way, but there's no signs.
Check out for falling debris.
Engines flying into your face.
It's like a baseball game. Foul balls aren't the responsibility of the team.
Right. Be alert.
Be alert for engines falling on your head.
So that is the race. We also get the most awkward celebration between Annie's best friends, the Rhodian and the human kid. They're trying to go for the high five, and then they kind of don't, and they just kind of like, hey. It was so awkward.
If you saw the deleted scene, it goes right into interspecies erotica.
Oh, does it? Oh God, I missed that one.
Yeah.
That's on Disney XXX Plus.
It's 9 minutes long.
I didn't think they'd put a dewback cock on the deleted scenes, but there it was. Holy cow, just dragging in the sand.
Oh my God. In total, a couple things. One is, how much does the video game, are you only doing Mos Espa races, or are you all over the circuit?
You're all over the place, yeah.
You're all over the place? Okay.
And it ramps up where, it's easy, and then I finally hit the wall where I just can't. You have to have a perfect run on Beggar's Canyon. And I jumped between too many racers, and that was my problem. I started with Anakin.
Favorite?
I don't know. I like to play Ratts Tyerell if I can, just to honor his legacy. I forgot to mention, hold on. I got to tell you guys about, so one of Ratts Tyrell's kids, hold on, let me see, what's his name? Dylan Tyerell. After the death of his father, he started a foundation that sought to have the sport outlawed across the galaxy called the Ratts Tyerell Foundation. And it was incredibly successful, and it was responsible for reducing viewership 50% by 22 BBY.
Wow.
And that's canon. That's fucking stupid, but I love it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That guy was like, he killed my father.
What's his name? Dylan?
Dylan. Yep.
I'm hoping there's another one that was the opposite, wanted to be a racer and follow in his dad's footsteps. And those two are at odds. Those two hate each other. You're ruining my livelihood, Dylan.
Christmas was uncomfortable every year.
Every year. Yeah. Mom gets him some racing gloves.
I was going to say, gets her a third pod racing toy like they were playing with. And
What other notes did you have to share on this, Ithorian? Did you have anything else?
Oh, yeah, I got lots of stuff here, especially on Mrs. Tyerell here.
Oh, God. We're going to keep going, Tyerell.
Yeah. Mrs. Tyerell, let's see. She's just out here. She has she's got a Tiger Woods visor, but it's mixed with a bonnet. And so it's a visor bonnet and her little cone heads poking out of the top. I think that was pretty sexy. It's probably a pretty sexy look. for her. Let's see what else I have. Oh, she's got a little shoulderless wrap on, so she's not afraid to show off. But also the look she gives him right before he takes off. I think she knew he was going to die.
Like, this is it.
I think she was kind of stoked.
Well, because you were saying he gives her a look like we're gonna bone later, but maybe his look was more like this is the last time my eyes are gonna be.
I don't think he was, ready to die in the Laguna Canyons or whatever.
Oh no, he gives up awfully fast.
He does, yeah. Well, what's he looking at? He does one of these.
I don't know, but there's never a turn.
He was no good back there. He just got out of the way.
Yeah, he's no good
and blew
back
up.
there.
Sorry.
Oh, we didn't mention the first crash in the deleted scenes. We see like the rescue pods come out.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And they're like kind of like probe droid-esque.
Right.
They like start picking up the pieces of the pod, and then I think Anakin smashes through one on his way to catch up to him.
Nice.
Yeah. So hopefully whoever was in there wasn't cut in half.
I just hope there's a deleted scene from Attack of the Clones where literally during the slaughter of the Tusken Raiders, he's like, I remember the fucking pod races, god damn it. Just like
he calls out, hold on, what was his name? He calls out by name. He's like, I remember you. I remember you taking pop shots at me.
Tell him I'm coming for him. He turns into Wyatt Earp. And hell's coming with me.
You hear me? Oh my god.
We need to write like our own A Certain Point Askew book.
So let's say the three of us, we're going to the Boonta Eve Classic, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And the race only lasts 15 minutes, so there has to be other events, right, throughout the day?
Right.
Yeah, there's that fucking band in the first
I was going to say,
season of
for
Visions.
sure. Yeah, from Vision.
Yeah.
So
I
we get
forgot
that
about
fun
that.
show at least, right?
Yeah.
But I was thinking, so I came up with some other ideas for maybe some events they could do beforehand.
All right.
So I have let's see, the Bantha pull, where you bring your Bantha and try to outpull the other guy's Bantha.
Oh, so it's like a tug of war?
Yeah, it's like a tractor pull, but with Banthas.
So now it's a rodeo before the race.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a rodeo theme pretty much.
You're gonna have to clean that bantha shit up before the race starts. It's gonna be a lot.
Yeah, we have let's see here, maybe a demo derby or a drag race with land speeders.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, because you got a nice strip there where you could do this. It could be a short run.
Oh yeah, you can just do it right up. And have you ever
That's
seen
good.
those videos where at the rodeos they put the little kids onto the back of a sheep and like slap it in the ass and see how long the little kid can ride it?
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe they could grease up an Eopie and try something like that with some of the local kids.
Or one of the name escapes me. We fucking mock him all the time from Mandalorian. He learns to ride.
Oh,
them.
the Blurg.
Episode 2.
Oh,
Yeah, the Blurg.
Yeah.
the blurg and Quill.
Yeah, those would work. So we could grease up a Blurg.
They got Blurg wrangling. They put a bunch of kids in there.
Is that an Eopie that farts in Jar Jar's face?
Yeah, and in the deleted
Okay.
scene, he like really leans into it. It's a little,
Yeah.
it's way more disturbing than it is.
Yeah, because the deleted scene, his eyes pop out of his head like, uh-oh. Like he's not sure if he's going to shit or fart. And he's like, I'm just going to let it out. And then he turns around to look at Jar Jar like, that's right. I mean, okay. Now, you had a question you asked me on DM. Who was the more annoying?
Yeah, who's the more worthless sidekick, Jar Jar or 3PO? 3PO at least walks the flag out for him. How
True.
do they make that decision?
That's true.
And
yeah, I
was
don't
his
know.
pit crew R2 and 3PO? Just like if he needed to pit for some reason, was it just those two?
And his two buddies, that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what the hell are they gonna do?
I
I
have
guess
no
R2's
idea.
there. I
Nothing.
trust him, but
R2 can fix anything.
Anakin was there to die or win. That's it.
that's
Right.
true. It's all or
Yeah.
nothing.
He
Literally ride
he
or
didn't-
die.
Yeah, he didn't need a pit crew.
The other question I have written down is like, it's a big racetrack. Do they do events like weekly? And this is just the big one. Do they do like minor league races?
Right, because that's a big arena to have
On 100,000
empty.
seats. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta try to do something.
There's got to be other stuff. I'm
true.
assuming it's almost like Churchill Downs. You know, well, Churchill Downs is closed down at the moment. But Churchill Downs, like where they've got racing all week long, it's just like undercard, smaller races. But then the
Right,
big
yeah.
events happen on the weekends or whenever, Boonta Eve Classic, etc. I would think so.
Yeah, well, according to this, the Boonta Eve's the biggest pod race in the galaxy. So
Yeah,
That's
well, that
gotta be
makes
a big
sense.
They got the Tatooine sand polo team. They play there every week.
Now what are they
Roller
riding when
derby.
they play polo?
The Opies.
They're riding Eopies? Yeah, that would make sense. Eopies.
sign up
Eopies
for
would work
that.
for polo.
I was just saying, I would sign up for like 25-cent, whatever, not hot dog night, but whatever that weird thing Jar Jar tries to eat. If they had 25-cent lizard skin nights, I'd be there for sure, dude. I'd be sucking those down.
Yeah, what's the old West saying? That meat's tainted. I think that's what you're going to be running into a lot when you go to the Mos Espa racetrack. I would not trust the food there.
That's fair. Yeah. I guess you're probably right.
You think they serve alcohol? You think you got spotchka and stuff flowing there?
They have to.
Oh yeah.
I think.
And they've got a hell of a markup on it, I'm sure.
I would think so. Yeah, it's like Jesus.
If Jabba's there and he's an owner, oh yeah, he's making money off that place. There is no bring your own spotchka.
Yeah, $15 for a Spotchka Light. What the fuck's going on here?
Well, I don't know how big Mos Espa is. I mean, it certainly looks big in certain scenes we've seen, but I mean, that had to be a good percentage of the town that's there for that race.
Oh, I think
You
I think it's from all over.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. That's true.
Did we
Other
cover
cities.
what Boonta Eve even is? It's like some hut gets like his god ship anointed or something.
Yeah, I thought it was the Bunta was the hut that like repelled some invasion, and they
Bunta hut,
celebrated him because of that. Isn't that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah, something like that.
That's how
I
it
think.
started.
What a hero.
And he's memorialized in this race every year. You got anything else?
I got the race results here.
Oh, is it the actual order? So we got Anakin, then we got what was his name?
Anakin Gasgano.
Gascano.
Aldar Beto came in third. Ebe Endicott with fourth. Elon Mac, I don't know. Elon Musk.
Elon
Yep.
Musk. That's the dinosaur with lips.
Yeah, yep, that's him. And then Bull's Roar comes in sixth. And those are the only finishers.
So 6,
Of
only a
the
third of them
18.
made it.
Yep.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I can't
That's
believe
brutal.
only one of them died.
that's hard to believe. I can't believe that either. There's no way. I mean, there's a couple that die have pretty hellacious crashes that I don't know how they survived.
Well, you see Sebulba crash, and he just kind of skids right down.
Yeah, his is fine, but some of the other ones, they're like in a full roll like forever. Like either they have the greatest roll bar and like infrastructure to their cockpit ever, or because like what's his face, the guy Mahonic, the 3-eyed guy,
Yeah.
he should have died.
Yes.
Like I don't know how he didn't die, but
He's tough.
yeah, tough guy. And then
I imagine those little rescue droids are just full of Bacta, and they just dump a whole
They must.
vat of it on them
Yeah.
as soon as they find them.
They must. Well, that's a good recap. Thank you for helping us with the breakdown, Ithorian.
Anytime.
We have to have you come back on again and do another break. I love doing these breakdowns because I like getting really into the weeds about some of this stuff. It's a lot of fun. But we will have you on again soon. Any other Ithorian stuff that you need to call out right now?
No, I'm hoping maybe Ahsoka decides to redo their decision on making Zeb not an Ithorian. Maybe they'll course correct and Zeb will be an Ithorian in the live action series.
Seems unlikely.
Now, well, you never know.
Gonna be like,
you know?
It's gonna be like Mission Impossible. He's just gonna rip his fucking head off, and it's gonna be an Ithorian underneath.
That would be a twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just hope I just want him to introduce a good guy, Ithorian, for once in live action. I'm sick of these
Right.
mock Shays devils.
Yeah.
We're sick of the reputation, man.
The guy serving up the illuminated popsicles.
That's true. He was pretty
He
nice.
was a good guy.
But he
Just
gave it
living a
to that
humble life.
fucking what's her name? I hate that bitch. What's her name? You don't remember her? She sold Pershing out to the goddamn
Oh,
Elia
right.
Kane.
Elia King.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck her, man. Get me out of here. Get her. I can't wait for her to fucking die. Let me tell you, it's gonna be so sweet when she fucking gets it.
Oh, fuck. All right. On that note,
Yeah. Sorry. Yep.
thanks for coming on. You
got
can
it.
find the Ithorian Historian at Dope Jammies on Twitter. Please go follow him and check out his tweets.
send me
Anytime there's
Ithorians.
ever an Ithorian mention on Twitter, you must have some sort of like search thing going on Twitter that you pull in all these results because you're always on top
Right.
of it.
It's not very often, but when it happens, I'm pickled. I'm tickled pink.
There.
I'm pickled tink.
All right. Thank you. All right, that was great. Thanks. We will have him on again. soon. I'd love to do another FACPA breakdown with him. I'd like to do more of these. I want to do them more often. I mean, obviously,
I do too.
When we have like the Ahsoka show going and stuff, we won't. But when we have these gaps between shows, it's just a perfect time to really dig into a specific piece.
I think this works with what we've done with guests before, but we keep talking about doing like crossovers with other Star Wars podcasts, and we're like, well, what do we do? I think these are like the perfect thing to do. Create like something like this, and then just bring them in and just kind of like throw everything at the wall. It's fun this way.
Yeah, we talked this week on Twitter about trying to do something with Yubcast. So maybe we'll just try to do like an animation one of these with them. That'd be cool. So look for more of those in the future. Hopefully soon.
Maybe they could come on and cover Resistance with you. Who knows?
You got one more season, man.
Yeah, I know.
We'll get through it. Don't you kind of want to know what's going to happen?
Yeah, I do. I'm because I've heard the second season gets a little darker and things tie in more. So like I said, it's not terrible, but it's just sometimes I'm like,
I know. I hear you.
Are we doing that? We're doing that in 2 weeks, right?
So we're doing next week we'll do Making of Mando, and then we'll get back to Resistance. So whatever the first week of July or something like that.
Yeah, I'll be dead then.
Maul Bag, we have one email. Thank you, Brian Hour. It's always Brian Hour is a very, very steady contributor to the Maul Bag, and we very much appreciate it. He says, "Greetings, scoundrels." Speaking of this, listening to Jay's lack of enthusiasm this latest episode has made me want to issue a challenge. Given Cole's disdain for the Book of Boba Fett and Jay going bonkers over Resistance, maybe it's time we take them back to yesteryear. I throw down my right-hand-only black dueling glove for a rewatch of Caravan of Courage or Battle for Endor.
I watched these originally as a kid. I remember when they were on TV. Were they on CBS?
Maybe.
I don't know how they would hold up. I've never returned to them, but
I think they're pretty
I'd be
bad.
interested. Yeah. Well, I mean,
no,
they're
we
on
should go
TV
back.
Movie budget. Yeah.
Yeah, we should go back sometime and do this and just do a hilarious breakdown of them. But I think that's his point. You think this is bad?
Okay.
You go back and watch that shit and then get back to me. I think that was
probably
his point.
Maybe I should watch one of these before I go into the second season of Resistance, and then I'll just be like, "This show was brilliant, really eye-opening."
Yeah, rewatch the holiday special. Thank you, Brian, very much. Appreciate your emails. And I think that's it.
Thank you, Brian. And we'll let Matt do. He'll put it in a spreadsheet, so it'll be an episode coming in the future.
I'll add it. Yeah, for sure.
And that's it, right? No voicemails, no nothing. We'll bring the FACPA toy back someday. So, shout out to you listeners. We'll listen to all of your emails. Remember, next week is 7 emails from you, the listener. Ooh. We appreciate it. We'll see what comes. Yep, it's going to go up because we only got 1. We want 7 emails and 3 voicemails. That's what I'm predicting.
So basically, if we get more than 2 Maul Bags, that is satisfying the quota, and everything's fine. If they get 1 or less, then they have to come back with 7 the following.
The listener's punished. Yes.
Oh boy, did you hear that, Ken?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for listening, everybody, and until next time, next week.
Laugh it up, Buzzballs.
We have spoken.